Okay.
Hi, and welcome to the SJ Child Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and today my guest is Julie Carlisle, and we are going to talk to Julie today a lot about healing, about recovery from trauma, and how to kind of be well in your days, right? And so thank you so much for being here today, Julie.
Oh, Sarah, I'm really honored. I'm really
Oh,
honored to be here with you.
it's great to
I-
see you. And I was just telling them, I love your little Christmas village back there. You know, it's
yeah.
snowing for the first day in Utah today. And this might air a couple months later, but that's all right. It'll still be snowy, I'm sure, then too.
So I have to tell you a cute story because I've mentioned my grandson to you before we got on. He's
Yeah.
got what is it called?
Sensory processing.
Sensory processing disorder. And he loves the snow. In fact, he tells his mom that it's his favorite holiday when it snows. It's his favorite holiday.
I love that.
Yeah.
They are the most innocent, sweet children. I just this week, oh my gosh, missing what day and week I'm in, but just a couple days ago recorded with a Santa Claus, and he read out Christmas lists from autistic children in our community group. And it is so special. These kids are asking for like cheese and crackers and pajamas and just the sweetest things,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. You don't get
heart.
more pure. I know.
It is so true.
Oh,
it is
wonderful.
so true. Well, it's such an honor to have you here as well. And I'm excited to dive deep into the services and perspective that you provide. So let's jump into that. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how it got started.
How I got started? Well, I have done healing, energy type healing for a long time. I won't go into the details, but I got really sick when I had my fourth child, and no one could find an answer for me. I was really grown up doing Western medicine, and whatever the doctor says, you do it, and that's all there is to it. Now, I love doctors. There's nothing against doctors, but they couldn't figure out what I had. And I went from doctor to specialist, everybody. And I don't know, those of you who have been there, you know how it feels. Like, I just wanted a diagnosis. I just cried for a diagnosis. I just want to know what's wrong with me. I just want to know so I can heal, right? Yeah. Well, it wasn't there. So what do you do then? So I turned to, I didn't turn to it. I went to because I was having problems nursing, and there was an angel that came into my life, and her name was Helen. Mm-hmm. And she helped me so much. And she showed me some alternative methods. And she showed me some people that could help me. And I just loved it, just really connected with me. And I found that I had a gift with energy. I could feel it right away. I could feel it, very sensitive to it. So I continued doing it. And I'm not a person that likes to be in the limelight or anything. I just did it with myself and my family and close friends. And, I've gotten to the point where, and I know some of you feel this way too, like you've got that prodding, like you've got to shine your light and you've got to share this with other people because it works for you.
Introducing Autism Vehicle Home Safety Kits with emergency responder vehicle alert stickers, personal profiles with autism needs and a communication board, masks and earplugs, keeping families and emergency responders educated and safe. Get yours today at sjchilds.org.
Sorry about those technical difficulties. We're going to start back in with Julie Carlisle. Thanks, Julie.
Okay, yep, sorry about that. I got rid of my microphone. I don't know why it just wasn't working today, but that's okay. It's all good. Anyway, I was talking about how I just started this business and it's called Infinite Healing Connections. And I do a lot of different things. I have coaching programs. I certified as a life coach because I found that was a missing link for me and so important. I don't want to go into that now. Maybe we'll go into that later, but such a good thing to have coaching in your life. And so I wanted to do that to help others. Now, of course, I include my health modalities, and I am certified in investigating health and brain. which is a modality I love because it was taught to me by a lady named Courtney Beardall, and she used to be a surgical nurse. And so she's very science-based, and it includes so many different modalities, and it's very, very powerful. And I absolutely love it. And I've seen so many good results from it. So that, and then, through the years, I have loved rebounding because I like to have something to move, but as the years have gone by, it's really hard for me to jog or do anything on the ground. I can't do aerobics anymore. It hurts my joints too much. So I found rebounding, and I started doing it, and I started putting my modality into it. And I actually made this routine that is amazing, and I call it Rebound Your Health. And so that's some of the things I do.
I love that. I love that. And I resonate with a lot of those same things too. I became a massage therapist in 2004, and the same thing, kind of realized, oh my gosh, like I'm a healer. Like this has always been a part of me, and I can do this, and I can transform healing in different ways, and it's amazing. It's so amazing when you can learn to channel into those things and then share them with others, such an incredible journey.
Yes. And I love that you say that, Sarah, because I'm all about teaching other women the tools to help do this for themselves. Right now, there are times I feel like you need outside help. And so doing a session with the healer, I think is wonderful now and then, because sometimes we need others to kind of bind our wounds for a while. Right.
Yeah.
But as you do the tools and you learn, like I teach these healing methods, these tools, and as you use the tools I teach, it is amazing how you can heal yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of it comes with perception, right? Showing people to shine the light on those things that maybe they're afraid to look at, or maybe they've never been shown or taught before from previous generations who hide. Let's not look at that, or let's not talk about that in this, setting or whatnot. And so it's so nice to have it be more socially acceptable, right? To look at healing as something important rather than just a side note for people that have an injury or something, right?
Yes, for sure.
So true.
And I love that you bring up the generational, because there is a lot of generational things. There's even a lot of energies that have passed on down, and we can release those energies. And not only that, but like things that we took on, the thoughts and stuff, that we've took on from being raised with our parents that they didn't mean to pass on to us, but they did.
Yeah.
And, we run those stories in our head, and they're not always true. So that's why coaching is so awesome too, because you can change those stories. There's someone and support there to help you to change those stories you're running to a new story and create a new pathway. And I call it a language of success.
Yeah, I like that.
And you learn this new way of thinking, and it's a tool that you use for your whole life. That's why it's life transformational, because you learn these things that really do transform the way you feel and think about things.
Yeah, I love that. And I love to be, I try to practice, we always, sometimes we know things and then we forget along our life's path that we know them, and we don't practice them often enough. And I love to practice though, speaking your life into existence. I like to think of, there was a quote about somebody said, like, if you can think about a negative thought, but don't let it stay for more than 7 seconds, because then it'll start to become an action. And I absolutely love that. And I try to practice that, but sometimes those are hard things to remember, when you get caught up in things or situations. So
yeah. So let's talk about our thoughts for a minute, shall we?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let's do it.
Because our thoughts are huge. They are huge. So let's see, where should we start? So I want to give you a little bit of scientific background. So the definition of a disease, let me bring that up so I can read that. I'm trying to find it. Okay. So a disease is a condition which threatens a human state of health, causing problems such as pain, distress, dysfunction, social problems, and death. In fact, diseases includes a large part of all causes of death worldwide. And according to the World Health Organization, chronic diseases are leading the cause of death worldwide. Heart disease and cancer are the biggest. We have diabetes, Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, and mental and emotional things, which are our environment, that are also causes of disease. So we have all these things that are causing disease, and our bodies are wired to heal, right?
Yeah.
And they're constantly healing. So, you get a cut, when you get a cut, your body constantly comes to the aid and does all those things to heal that cut. So our body's wanting to heal in all ways. Mm-hmm. And every 7 years, I don't know if you guys have heard this, every 7 years you grow a new body.
Yeah. Your cells reproduce or regenerate. Yeah. And the more you can speak positively to them, just like water, right? The more you can kind of give yourself that positive regeneration, the better. And the more things will help level you up in whatever areas you're trying to work at. So that is so true. What about actions? What kind of actions should we be taking?
Well, I wanted to finish with the thoughts because I wanted to go into how that works.
Yeah.
So your thought processes play such a huge contributing factor. There's actually a neurochemical process that goes on in your brain whenever you have a sensory process. So, our 5 senses are processing. And whatever we're experiencing is tagged with an emotion. Like, for instance, I don't know if your grandma made good cookies, but my grandma made such good cookies. And when we go to grandma's house, we'd have fresh cookies and, that feeling you get like, oh, I'm so loved and I feel so good. And I got that from cookies, right? From grandma's cookies. So the limbic system assigns that emotion. And it gives the hypothalamus a signal to make a hormone for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
interesting.
that hormone is what tells your body how it's going to feel and react to that input. And your hypothalamus is the grand central station. It knows everything that's going on in your body, and it helps to correct and balance things in your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So whatever you let into that brain, into that hypothalamus, is what's going to affect you physiologically. Or how you feel and what you act on. So it's interesting, when we have an addiction, we're actually addicted to the hormone that's created and not the actual thing. So I had to learn, like, okay, I was addicted to cookies, really. I mean, I had to have cookies to feel good, but I had to tell myself, like, okay, I don't need this cookie to feel good. I can just think about grandma. I don't need to eat a cookie.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Retrain the brain.
We retrain the brain. So our thoughts, so I call it the results formula. Your thoughts that you're having are causing your feelings. And your feelings are causing your actions. And then your actions are definitely causing the results that you're seeing. So if we look at our results, we will know what we're thinking, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And some people have a hard time looking at that. And that's probably, that's tricky. Why would people generally, look for healing? What are some reasons you see people come to you that need support for healing?
Usually they just are not having enough energy. They have a lot of longing and discontent. They're not happy with life anymore. And they don't have a purpose. It's so important that we have a purpose. Yeah. They're just looking for something. A lot of them might be in a new phase of life, like maybe, like, for instance, maybe their kids are all raised and left and they're left with, who am I now? Like, I don't know what to do with my life now. And it causes a lot of longing and discontent. And if we keep that up, that is going to lead to a lot of dis-ease, we call it.
Yeah.
Low vibrations and that kind of thing. And so I have 3 little tips I wanted to share to help where we can start. So the first tip, I think, is just to get moving. We need to get our bodies moving. And sometimes that's not easy because we just don't have the motivation to do it, right? And so how can we do it? There's a law of physics, and it is objects in motion stay in motion, objects at rest stay at rest.
So true.
So if we can make a decision and just do it,
Yeah.
I would even maybe bribe yourself. Maybe you bribe yourself with a cookie.
Right.
I mean, at least it gets you going, right?
Yeah.
And it's about a week or so. If you can go about a week and just force yourself to do that movement, then you start making the endorphins and it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And so, and I always recommend, of course, my movement is my modality, which is Rebound Your Health, because it's so easy and fun. I mean, who doesn't love jumping on a mini trampoline?
Yeah. I want to talk about that because I don't know about that. So I'm excited to learn more.
Yeah. So I started rebounding because it will drain and circulate your lymph in 2 minutes. Now, I don't know if you guys know about your lymph, but that's your garbage system. That's where everything collects and drains out. And so it's very important to your immune system. And it doesn't move on its own. It's not like our circulation where it pumps or heart pumps. It doesn't move. You have to do something to move it.
Interesting.
So, and rebounding has been shown as the most effective thing to do that.
Okay.
Bone density is another amazing thing because if you have osteoporosis, you're not going to be able to do much because that hurts your joints. But if you jump on this rebounder, it is so low impact and smooth that it's easy on your joints. I do want to make a point though that you need to make sure you're on the right rebounder because if they make rebounders with springs and they make rebounders with cords. And I recommend the corded one because it's not as springy and hard, and it's just a very fluid, smooth movement.
That sounds really nice. And I love that it's full body activating too.
Oh, extremely, extremely.
Yeah.
And in my routine, we do tapping with it.
Yeah, great.
And I found energy loves to move. So if you're just doing little bounces as you're doing these things, it's just so much more effective.
That is great.
And our workout's 20 minutes, you don't
perfect timing.
Yeah, you don't need a lot.
Yeah.
And just very easy, low impact. It's not really a fitness routine. It's really more a therapy.
Like a wellness routine. I like that. I like that.
It really is like the yoga of rebounding. It's using mindfulness as well. So
yeah, definitely. Oh, I love that.
And they use it as a therapy for a lot of kids with autism are using this as a therapy, and they're seeing huge results with it.
Yeah. And I'm sure, we notice that when we allow our kids to use a wiggle chair or something where they can be moving in fluid motion while they're doing a process, it's much easier for them. I can't tell you how many fidget toys we have in this house.
No,
and we're okay. It's like they're homeschooled. And so it's okay. You need 3 fidget toys to choose from on the table. Do it. Whatever keeps you engaged in whatever we're going to be doing in a healthy way to, keep the mind and the body in the same place.
Yeah. So do you have a rebounder yet, Sarah?
No, I need to do that. I need to get on this, don't I?
Yeah,
you unfortunately for one of our, obviously this isn't a full big huge trampoline, but our daughter just broke her leg on a trampoline about 6 months ago, so we are recovering from a broken leg. And so that is something unfortunate, but even something like that would still, in the healing process, she needs to rebuild the muscles, she needs to rebuild all of those things. And, that's part of it. And I think that's a great tip. I love that.
Yeah. And the astronauts have to do this when they get back from space because of it being out of the gravity. Well, it takes the bone density out. So when they come back, they rebound to build that bone density back up again.
So cool.
And I've got ladies that have joined my class after a week and they've noticed a lot of more balance. And so because you're on that uneven surface, it really quickly helps your balance. And I think as we get older, it's important because we don't want to fall. You know what I mean? It's scary to fall when you get older.
Definitely.
And so I think rebounding is for any age. I've seen 80-year-olds. I know a guy whose grandma got, and she was 80 years old, and she got on and you just bounce, you don't do too much, but as you bounce, you build up that bone density and that strength, and then you can do more.
Yeah. It sounds like something my mom would be interested in learning about too. So I'm going to definitely have to tell her about it after this.
Yes, we'll have to put my email on because
We will.
actually do a free Rebound Your Health. It's just
wonderful.
free. And I do it every morning at 9 because you know what I mean? I'm doing
Love
it
that.
anyway. I just thought, I might as well get on Zoom, and whoever wants to join me, come and join me.
That's fantastic, Julie. I really like that you're doing that. That's a wonderful service to give back to the community.
And you can do it without a rebounder too, because
Yeah.
you start with the energy that I'm showing you, and then when you can get a rebounder, then it's just amazing.
Oh, I love that. Tell us some, you wanted to give a few more tips. So I want to not forget
so
those and get back to that.
Tip 2 I wanted to give you is like, do it for you.
I love
Self-love
that.
is so important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So important.
If you are doing this for anyone else, or if you're just doing these things because you want to lose weight or look good. I mean, you'll release weight doing all of this, not just the rebounding, but as you learn these techniques, you will lose weight. I can tell you a quick story. When I started, let's see, I was doing energy medicine, and I just I gained a lot of weight with my kids, as usual. I was 190 pounds, which was really heavy for a 5'3" woman.
Yeah.
I lost half of it. But there was probably 20 pounds I just couldn't lose. No matter what I did. I mean, I did aerobics. I ate good. I couldn't lose it. When I started I actually got into a coaching program, and I learned some of the self-love and this improvement stuff. Like, I wasn't even trying, and I just lost the weight. Just went.
Those hormones.
That cortisol. Yeah. I mean, that weight is there. It thinks it needs to keep you safe. But when you start opening up your heart to bringing in love for yourself, it just releases. It's the most amazing thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I love that.
For you.
Good thinking. And, there's so many ways you can do it these days. I love to give a lot of great ways. Journaling is good, but you don't have to journal with like a pen and pencil either. You can do it in a video. You can do art. You can do, there's just so many ways for self-care to be able to get into the mind frame, to be able to do these kinds of things and to set the time to do it. That's the most important part, probably, is to allow and give yourself that permission and that time to actually do these things.
Absolutely. And, my self-care is the rebounding. It's a total meditation for me. It's so much. And like, it was funny today, I had my class, and I found myself, because I've had a little bit of cold and I haven't really felt like doing much, and my house is kind of messy. So I found myself going around cleaning. And if I hadn't had that class, I probably would have kept cleaning. And then I would have been like, why am I so tired?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because I hadn't done the rebounding, but I had the class, so I did it. So
yeah. No, I'm always amazed too. We live on a canal, and my husband better not be listening. No, just kidding. But every time I, go and I take the dog for a walk or go out on a walk, I always have I always feel better, and it's always this great. Well, I haven't been doing it as much as I should be and could, you know what I mean? Unfortunately. And so, but it's in my brain. It's in there. It's like it knows,
Make a decision, Sarah.
Exactly. Stick to something, be consistent. Oh, that's a hard thing for me. Consistency.
Yeah. So it's so important. Just do it for you.
Yeah.
No one else, but do it for you.
Mm-hmm. So important. So important. And
because you want to be lean, healthy, and strong,
Yeah, definitely. I love to, I always tell people, like, before I even started podcasting or going on podcasts, it was like just in and out, day in and out, in and out. And I didn't care about doing my hair or putting on makeup or anything like that. And I just didn't, it wasn't that I didn't care for myself, but I didn't care for myself. That's just the honest truth about it. And I started, going onto some podcasts, and my husband's encouraging me. And then, I started my own podcast, and I start to realize, like, oh my gosh, I have this beauty that is, radiating that I like forgot all about. And, all these things. And I think that it really like, at first I thought being in front of the camera was going to terrify me and it was going to make me judge myself and pick everything apart. But it didn't. Like, I've really embraced the fact that, hey, like, oh, my makeup looks good and I do my hair and now I feel good about myself. So it's been a really unique process and journey for me into this.
And do I dare say maybe it's because you had a purpose too?
I agree 100%. Mm-hmm.
If we can find our purpose, that self-love comes, but I think we all need to know we have a purpose. And if we don't know what that is, I believe there are ways, and I teach some principles too on how to find your purpose and how to listen to your heart. Because your heart desires in your heart, that's your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So we can act on that. So,
I know, I'm so lucky.
Self-love, acting on your purpose. If you know what it is, or find out what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
I think having a vision is so important. That's the first thing my clients do is write out their vision.
Yeah.
And then we come from that.
I love that.
Forever. That's one of your tools, forever, that vision.
Exactly. I love even my 9-year-old. Oh, she's going to be 10 soon. I better get used to that. But my daughter and I, she loves making vision boards, and she keeps stacks of magazines because we love to go and do the, cut out the pictures of magazines and make vision boards with magazine clip outs and things. And it's, you don't recognize how much power really comes in visualizing those things for yourself and visualizing a step up, a level up, but whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest for yourself. It's through those kinds of actions and thought processes that they're able to happen.
And I love that because it also puts us in a high vibration, right? We're in a beautiful state instead of a suffering state.
Yes, definitely.
So I love vision boards. Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready for tip number 3?
Yes.
Are we going over here a little bit?
Oh, no, we're great.
Okay. Tip number 3 is to get support. Oh, no one can do the journey alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We all need community, and we need to feel like we belong. And we need to feel that we're not the only one out there that's feeling this way or having this problem, because we're not.
It's so, so true. And once you find 1, 2, 3 people within that same community that you can build on, and it keeps on growing because they know more people and they know more people. It's so incredible. And I love that you say that. And one thing that I always give my parents advice is to, and this is kind of service-based, their kids are going through services, their kids are getting support, they're getting all of these therapists or whatever is needed. But what are the parents doing for themselves? Are they finding support? Are they finding a coach? Are they finding they need a know-how to do it too? They need just as much therapy, if you will, through the process as their child, because it's just not, if you're a parent and you're not a therapist, you're not going to take it home with you and integrate it into your life and things like that if you're not taught to do so. And I think that's so important. That's what you'll find when you find these communities and support systems.
Yes, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. And, some other ones I would mention is I love masterminding. So, and there's so many good online groups, like self-help groups are amazing. There are so many out there.
I bet.
And through those, you can get on an online group and find a mastermind group. And then, you meet those people and you stay connected forever.
Yeah, that is such a cool thing. I absolutely love that. I love that about doing this and meeting people. And even though we're not that far away, just a couple hours from one another, like how else would we have been able to probably meet one another or, kind of know where we're both coming from like this. So it's amazing.
Well, and so I can tell you from some groups I've been in, I've got ladies in my Rebound Your Health. There's one from India.
Yes.
And Canada. And,
love that.
I'm certified through the UK to be a rebound instructor. And so I'm thinking I'll probably have some UK people there too, but
Yeah.
I have to send a recording, right? Because in India, it's 10 o'clock at night when we're doing it at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, that is so true. We had an
But-
illustrator from Pakistan once, and we had to like message back and forth like at 7 in the morning because it was 9 there and 7 here. And it was, you know, he was ready to go to bed. I was waking up. We had to make
Yeah.
sure we had that meeting first thing in the morning.
It can be a challenge that way, but
Yeah.
but I
that's
just
so
love
exciting.
connecting with them. It's just
Yeah.
so amazing.
Now, before we do wrap it up, I want to make sure that we have all of your social media, webpage, how to find you, all of those good links.
So my webpage, it's one of two. I have it under infinitehealingconnections.com
Perfect.
or my name, juliecarlisle.com.
Great.
Either one. And then from there, you can get onto my Facebook and my Instagram and all that stuff.
I love
They're
it.
the same names. So,
Perfect. We'll
and
make
then my
sure to.
email is really easy too. And from my website, you can get my email as well. But it's just healing at Julie Carlisle.
I love that. Yes, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, we've got such wonderful value and wonderful tips, and everybody's gonna learn what rebounding is and learn how they can kind of take more charge of their wellness, right? Take a hold of it and put it in a priority for yourself each day.
And
Definitely.
do something fun to you. If it's not rebounding, then something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty fun.
Thank you so much for your time. It was such a pleasure to have you here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Sarah. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure too.
And we will definitely be in touch.
Sounds amazing.